action on EA Sports. I'm Ed Cohen. Great to be joined by Jay Williams for what should be a terrific matchup here tonight. We're at Talking Stick Resort Arena in downtown Phoenix. Tonight, it's the Phoenix Suns playing host to the LA Clippers. The Suns win the opening tip. They'll have it first as we get going in the desert. To Booker. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at three coming up.
So many times we get on a defender for quote-unquote letting the offensive player score on an and one. Sometimes there's a lucky bounce, but more often than not, it's the offensive player who makes the play happen despite the defender's best intentions.
Free throw up and good. It's a three-point play on the first possession of the game. Jay, upon scanning this Clippers roster, there are a lot of guards for Doc Rivers to work with.
Yeah, they have a plethora of guards, and if I'm this team and if I'm Doc Rivers, I'm thinking about how do I throw as many guards at you as possible, because Doc wants to get another guard in there to apply the same pressure. They should be the new modern-day Detroit Pistons with the style they play defensively.
Booker with it. His team up by one. The pass taken away by the Clippers. Paul George to Marcus Morris. Shot from in close, no good. To Booker. Screen coming. Paul George with a piece.
Oh, he blocked that with authority.
Clippers have the basketball. Unbothered by the defense as he drills it.
It looks like he's using his ball handling to feel the game out. I know it looks like he's just playing around out there trying to get the fans going. That is true, but he's also finding his rhythm.
To Booker. And he's fouled, and he earns a trip to the line.
I'm the first to say I like the intensity as much as the next guy, but you got to be smart. Early fouls like that may come back to haunt you later in the game.
Devin Booker, couple of free throws on the way. A career 84% free throw shooter. And he connects on the first free throw. And he makes them both. Jackson with it. Down by one. To Paul George. Batum. Phoenix with it. Yes, and a foul. Hell of a chance at a three-point play.
The offense has very little to lose on those type of plays if they know they can, number one, create contact, and number two, still get the ball up. You need to assert yourself fully on the defensive end by initiating the contact and not allowing the offensive player to get that ball above his waist.
Jay Crowder at the line for a chance at a three-point play. For his career, 79% at the line. The free throw, good. Caps off the three-point play. The lead is 4. Jackson with it. He'll run the offense. To Batum. Here comes the screen. George to Cousins. Perfect feed to set up the basket.
As my mother would say to the defender, A for effort, F for results.
Into the front court, it's Booker. Lead is 2. Slam dunk, DeAndre Ayton.
It's so difficult to block a guy like that with that kind of athleticism and length. Your timing almost has to be perfect, but pretty much there's no stopping him when he's around the rim.
LA Clippers with the basketball. Jackson to George. Now preparing to shoot at the line.
Hey, look, sometimes you need to feel out your opponent. Let him know you're there. I'm okay with that early foul.
Paul George. He's got 2 shots coming. A career 84% free throw shooter. And hits the first free throw. No good on the second. It's a 1-of-2 trip. DeMarcus Cousins rejects it. This will get out of bounds. Last touch by Cousins. To Mikal Bridges. Trying to cash in. Booker's shot, no good. Cousins to Nick Batum. And he finishes at the rim.
There are certain guys in this league that should be put on alert status 24/7 because either they're posterizing you or that attempt can still be a poster.
And he's going to the free throw line.
It's still early, so no real impact on that call. But you know that they're going to call this one tight, so you might want to keep your hands out of his pocket.
First one, count it. Goes 2 for 2. It's the Clippers with the possession now. Probing the defense. Looks to make a move. Paul George to Batum. Has a look. Deep 2 there. Won't go. To Booker. Mikal Bridges. Has a chance. Rebound hauled in by Cousins. George matched up with Booker. It's Crowder with the rebound. To Booker. Here comes the screen. Not that time.
It's easy. Force guys into low percentage shots. That's the reason why we're big into stats. It was all provided to you before the game in the scouting report.
Paul George, 4-2. Not that time.
Woo! I like that intensity on that play. That's how you actually dig in the dirt and do your job on the defensive end.
Look out, Devin Booker. First couple didn't go. That one is true.
Attack mode isn't a switch that you can just turn on and off. You need to do more of that. We need to see him penetrate, get into that lane, and create.
George to Nick Batum. No good. Defense catching a break there. Mikal Bridges to Booker. Pass to the rim. Throws it down off the alley-oop pass. Jay, no question. There's an unspoken bond there.
Just on the same wavelength. And how about this? Sometimes a bad pass is a great pass when you have somebody as athletic as that can catch that anywhere and slam it down.
Nothing going here on that drive. Short jumper misses.
That's how you do it. You keep riding him to the basket, and if the refs aren't calling it, keep being physical. Keep knocking him off balance.
Booker. DeMarcus Cousins swats it. Shot clock violation. New blood coming in for both sides.
Entering the game for the Los Angeles Clippers, number 40,
Jackson. To Batum. From the painted area, won't go down.
One of the best kept secrets in the game. Utilizing a head fake. Get the defender in the air. Crack into him. Don't give the refs any excuse not to call foul. I put that one on you. You went up a little bit lazy.
Booker. 4-3. And the rebound taken by Jackson. It's LA Clippers ball. Jackson to Luke Kennard. Paul George to Jackson. Lets it fly from long range. Defense was ready. Reggie Jackson unable to hit. Almost, and he's not getting the call. Batum to Reggie Jackson. Shot clock's at 5. Down to 4. Short jumper off the mark. To Booker. Here comes the screen. Booker. Takes it right to the rim. A lot of contact there, but they say no foul.
I don't know if the scouting report has made its way out here yet, but if anything, it says you need to not let him get that close to the rim.
Some lineup changes now for both clubs. It's George for 2. Paul George. Tough shooting. Only 2 for 6 after that make.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
DeAndre Ayton. And finishes strong. They have set the tone in this one.
I love when I see offenses come out in beast mode. You attack that paint, you get to the rim, inevitably the floor will open up for you to knock down some threes.
George to Beverly. Cash is in. Someone has to get into a zip code.
The okey doke Let's see if he'll try that one again.
Phoenix has the ball. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
They're going to have to find answers defensively and quickly because he's carving them up in the first quarter.
Beverly to Paul George. Nothing going here on that drive. Paul George, he's 3 for 7.
And last year, it seemed like PG really had a difficult time finding that next level elite PG. No doubt about it, this year, he needs to be playoff P all day, every day.
Screen coming. Going to launch beyond the arc. That won't go. Beverly into the front court. 9-point margin. To George. Just off the mark. Baseline drive, all by himself, creates his own shot there.
Oh, man, you're not supposed to be able to do that with that size, but in today's game, dexterity and mobility are off the charts for bigs.
Here comes the screen. Paul George goes to the right side. To Paul George. Paul George, now 4 for 9.
You can finally see this team starting to get their rhythm and their groove offensively. This is a good run to get them back in the ballgame.
Knocked loose. They love this hustle. And that'll get out of bounds. Last touch by the Clippers. So it stays with Phoenix. Changes coming from both sides right now. Bad pass there. Clippers have it. To George. Five seconds to shoot. 24-second violation. DeAndre Ayton. Here's a chance from long range. Cleans it up. Offensive board. Clippers have got it. Late heave to beat the buzzer. Shot from 3/4 court is good. He buries it. Who does this guy think he is? Few would take it. He drills it. And that's how the first quarter comes to an end. One quarter down. Neither side really distinguished itself. Jay, what stood out?
Both teams are trying to feel each other out, but I like the aggression that both teams established in the first quarter. This is the first quarter league. The way you play in the opening minutes really sets the tone for the rest of the game.
DeMarcus Cousins. He's 2 for 2 now. 6'11", 270. That's a massive man. You can make a case there's nobody like him.
There isn't anybody like him in the NBA. He is an absolute bully on the block, can burrow his way through traffic, make it easy, and also possesses that sweet shooting touch from the outside.
Swings it. Trying to cash in. He connects off the step back.
There you go. I like seeing scoring coming from unlikely sources.
Clippers have the basketball. To Cousins. A drive to the basket, but the shot rattles around and out. Driving right to the basket. No good. Oh, it looked like he may have gotten him there.
And you hate to say this, but this is the reality of the matter. Sometimes it takes guys a little while to warm up into the game. Seems like they finally found their rhythm in the second quarter.
Nice touch around the basket with the tip.
That's a strong finish. Regardless of contact, finishing strong is key.
Screen coming. A drive to the basket, but it somehow stays out. Mikal Bridges. Shot clock winding down.
Cut him.
Fires the three. Mikal Bridges forced that one. Well defended.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
The screen sets him up for two.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
Suns with the basketball. To Mikal Bridges. Five on the shot clock for Phoenix. And it's Beverly there to grab the rebound. Rondo into the front court. Down 6. To Marcus Morris. Here comes the screen.
On your right.
Down to 5. Down to 4 to shoot. Chance for Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins. That's 3 now on 4 shots.
Woo, did you see that? Eyes to the rim, and the rest was all net.
Knocks it down off the step back.
I wasn't necessarily sure which way that PNR was going, but I guess neither was the defense. That makes 2 of us.
Time to adjust. Both coaches making changes on the floor. Beverly to Luke Kennard. LA with 4 to shoot to Marcus Morris. Beyond the arc for 3. So the first points for him in this first half, and he knocks it down for 3.
Yeah, they really need him to get going. Really surprised that none of his teammates have been talking to him. This is when he needs him the most. They have to uplift him, help him continue to be confident on the court.
And he's fouled. Couple of free throws coming up, Jay.
That's actually not a bad move at all. You're applying more pressure on him by sending him to the line.
First one goes down. Able to convert on both free throws. LA Clippers with the basketball. Here comes the screen. Runner here won't go down. Etuan Moore, guarded by Patterson. Screen coming. It's Boogie for two. He shoots. Oh, off the mark. To Luke Kennard. Oh, the Suns come up with the steal.
Come on, let's dig in. Let's really build this lead.
Knocked loose. This will get out of bounds. Last touch by Cousins. So the Suns keep the possession. Mixing things up. Hockey line substitutions. Both teams making changes. Split the D there, but he can't get it to drop.
And that's next level defense. The defender took away the pocket space of the shooter. Now as a shooter, they shoot hundreds of shots each and every day from that pocket with consistency. Now you force them to change the angle or the positioning of that pocket, you're going to lower the chances of them making that shot.
Here comes the screen. Booker in a matchup with Boogie. From the painted area, won't go down. To Jackson. Here comes the screen. George, guarded by Devin Booker. To Nick Batum. And that's rebounded by the Suns. To Booker. Now ready with a couple of free throws.
Smart play to rip through the extended arm of the defender. That will get you to the free throw line every time.
Devin Booker at the line for 2 shots. He's perfect from the line so far. Knocks down the first. And gets both to drop at the line. Jackson with it. Down 5. It's Phoenix ball. Scores from the post.
Old school equals high percentage.
Jackson with it. Right now, down 7. Here comes the screen. George to Reggie Jackson. Paul George to Batum. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. Nobody even close to him. Nick Batum strikes with the basket.
And in today's game, you have to make shots like that. Nice work draining it from deep.
I got him. Here we go.
Booker to Mikal Bridges. Curling inside. Another chance. Second effort. Jackson with it. Trailing by 4. To Cousins.
Got him. Double, 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 double.
Gets it at the top of the key. Reggie Jackson. 2 of 4 now.
The reality is no one can guard a player at his level one-on-one. The help defense needs to be shown, and he needs to see a series of obstacles instead of just one individual.
With the fadeaway, burns him for the basket. Jackson with it. Down 4. To Marcus Morris. From the outside, no good.
The contest was good, but you being a nuisance was great. Continue to be that gnat that no matter how many times you swing at it, it never goes away.
Booker. Nice pace, sets it up, and slams it down. He was ready right at the tip.
What a first half he's having. He came out of the gate, attacked, found ways to get to the rim. Now look how easy the game is coming to him.
George in a matchup with Booker. To Nick Batum. The Clippers with 4 to shoot. Jackson hits it, and the foul. And a chance now at a 4-point play.
But did you see on that three-point shot, did you see him slightly kick his legs out? By kicking his legs out, the defender runs into the legs. There's contact. That's how you get a 4-point play potentially.
Reggie Jackson with a chance at a 4-point play. A career 85% free throw shooter. It's good, has the hot hand, and a 4-point play. It's Suns ball. Booker. Surveys the floor. Trying to create to Booker. They've slowed down the pace. Now 3 on the shot clock. Keep on trying. Shot's no good there. Jackson with it. Down just a couple. To Cousins. Kennard. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
Great job using that shoulder to create contact with the defender without hesitation.
I got him.
A shot no good there for Booker. Kennard to Paul George. Knocks it down from mid-range.
Well, when you play for each other and not just for yourself, that's when great things happen. You essentially lose yourself in what the team is trying to accomplish. It's called unselfish basketball. And there's nothing more beautiful than rewarding your teammate with a nice pass and letting them finish for 2 or 3 points.
Jackson with it. Under a minute to go before half. Whistled for the foul. Chance coming up at the free throw line.
Love the fact that the shooter created contact on the upward motion to shoot the basketball. Big time play.
First free throw is good.
Number 27.
Goes 2 for 2 at the line. Booker with it. Down 2. DeAndre Ayton. The Suns with 4 to shoot. To Booker. for three. Devin Booker in his own desert. No one in sight, and he takes advantage.
I know the refs on the court all the time, but it doesn't mean they can see every play. Maybe defensively, grab his jersey, step on his toe, do something to kind of change up his pace.
To Jackson. A pass stolen by Phoenix.
You go back to the principles, things that we started working on when we were in first and second grade. Is called the shell drill. You stay down in the stance defensively, you try to deny the next pass away, and you have to communicate. If your conditioning is bad, you have no chance. But if you're able to do all these things together, collectively, you will be able to stop a great passing team.
So a tie one as we reach the break in a one-point game. Let's get you to our NBA Live studios in Orlando and hand it over to Jalen Rose for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Jalen.
It's time for the Rose Report at halftime, and it's brought to you by EA Sports. The Suns are in a close game thus far. It was their playmaking, the way they gave each other scoring opportunities. That really impresses me. I love seeing unselfish basketball like that. These are the guys getting buckets to the Phoenix Suns. The Clippers have kept it close after one half. And that deficit is a negative, of course, but I do see it positive. I really like how they move the ball, keeping each other involved offensively. They've got a nice flow to their game today. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Game track. Bench points.
What I found interesting about that half of basketball is how the momentum stayed high even when the substitutions started coming into the game. These guys coming off the bench, from both benches actually, are doing a great job of making positive contributions.
Player of the half.
Ayton was lighting up the scoreboard in the first half, and I'm not sure the defense will be able to figure out what it'll take to slow him down. He looks like he's in a zone. Here we go with the top plays from the first half.
Number 2. Number 1.
And that concludes our halftime report. Thanks for joining us, and see you again after the game.
Offensive and a putback slam.
You know, Ed, I'm down with guys having 35, 40, maybe 50 points in the game. But the one thing you look for in the defensive end, when there's a huddle after a guy has dropped multiple buckets on you in a row, and everybody's quiet, nobody stands up and says, yo, I got him, I'm going to stop him, you're in a worrisome place for your team.
It's the Clippers with the possession now to Reggie Jackson. Cousins. Probing the defense. George to Batum. Fires the three. Nick Batum forcing that one. No good. To Booker. And he's fouled. Very close, Jay. Free throws coming up.
There's a very fine line between maximum effort and carelessness. I'm willing to live with a few mistakes and maximal effort than having to constantly remind my players to close out.
Good free throw shooting. Knocks down a pair. Jackson with it. His guys down three. Paul George to Luke Kennard. Has a look. Gets a look. Can't hit.
We call some of these players practice players. You know, the guys that make 5 out of 10.
Slams it home on the putback.
Woo, that's nasty right there.
George to Nick Batum. Here comes the screen. Jackson down low to Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins. He's now shooting 5 for 7.
Ed, I have so much admiration for guys that continue to hunt their shot. They're playing the second half like it was the first 5 minutes of the ball game. Those natural-born leaders are guys that will consistently lead your team to the promised land.
Cutter, I got yours.
5 on the shot clock for Phoenix. Booker's shot off the mark. Another shot stays out.
Screen coming your way, screen coming your way.
Paul George to Jackson. From long range. Defense was ready. Reggie Jackson unable to hit. To Booker. Here comes the screen. Booker defended by Cousins. Five to shoot. Booker. He was all over him. Got it to go on the step back. Jay, he found a way.
When miracles happen, you accept it and you're thankful. But you don't expect it all the time.
To Mikal Bridges. DeAndre Ayton. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
He should get some kind of acting award. That's a great sell by the offensive player. But guess what? The refs bit, and that's the game.
Devin Booker trying to cash in on a 3-point play. Hasn't missed yet. And he missed the free throw. Jackson with it. Down 3. To Cousins. And watch him do the rest. Slam dunk.
Oh, man, did you see that swiftness? He dunked that thing like a tennis ball.
It looked like that in his hand. Suns control the possession. Take stock of the floor. Booker. For 3. Cleans it up. George to Cousins. And counted at the rim.
This is why I go back into player mode. If a dude starts to try to have 40 points on me, I'm going to foul out. I'm going to start hitting him in places he's not used to being hit. I'm trying to do anything to throw him off his game.
Booker. Five on the shot clock to Booker. Lets it fly from long range, and the rebound taken down by the Clippers. Batum to George.
Right.
To Batum. L.A. with 4 to shoot. Pass to Cousins. Down low. Leaving no doubt. Slams it down. Now whistle. We'll get a timeout from Phoenix as they'll discuss matters in what's now a 3-point game. To Booker. DeAndre Ayton. Wide open look, won't go.
And I'm telling you right now that the defense is playing with fire right here. If they keep giving up open looks, they will not have the lead eventually.
Nikola Batum, 4 out of 7.
And the true test of a team's character is how they respond when they get hit in the mouth. Keep digging.
DeAndre Ayton to Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges with the strong finish. Jay, let's see if that's a sign for him.
Well, he's been pretty much non-existent the first 3 quarters, but when you have a play like that, that can get the juices going, and that can help you with your offensive rhythm.
Batum. Into the front court. It's Booker. They're down 3. Slam dunk. DeAndre Ayton.
We call that get your money and put it in the bank.
Jackson with it. Looking to make something happen. To Paul George. With the fadeaway. Burns him for the basket.
I remember my high school coach said 1 man can't beat 5. Well, I'm telling you right now, he lied. I'm watching it happen in person.
Stuffs it down with authority.
And when the ball gets the defense rotating from side to side, you're bound to find opportunities for each other.
It's LA Clippers ball. And a chance coming up at the line.
This drives me nuts when I see fouls like that being called in a close game. Sometimes you just gotta let them play, ref.
And he connects on the first free throw.
Entering the game for
2 for 2 on that trip. Was to the basket. 5 seconds. Count it.
He's been doing this for years. The physicality in which he plays. No one wants to see that. You're going to leave the game with black and blue marks all over your body.
The pass taken away by the Clippers.
You know, Ed, sometimes you're just more ready to play than your opponent. The intensity and the effort is off the charts.
Phoenix with it. Great defense there, forcing the pickup. Down to 5 on the 24. Has a chance. Won't go. He has to find better opportunities.
It's easy. Force guys into low percentage shots. That's the reason why we're big into stats. It was all provided to you before the game in the scouting report.
Knocks it down from mid-range.
And remember, Ed, they trailed at the halftime. This is not the same team that we saw in the first half. Playing with a new zest for life, apparently.
Reggie Jackson sends it away. Both coaches dipping into their reserves. Changes coming onto the floor. To George. Shot from in close, no good. Bad pass there. Clippers have it. The pass set it all up.
And attention to detail is everything for a professional scorer like that. Actually getting it done the hard way there.
Now whistle and a timeout for Phoenix as their coach wants to get a word in with his guys here in this third quarter. DeAndre Ayton. Gets it in the left corner. The jumper's off the mark. Into the front court comes Rondo. It's an 11-point game.
Mismatch.
No good. Beverly into the front court. He'll run the offense. To Paul George. Trying to cash in. The shot by George won't go down.
The most important thing a shooter can do is continue to shoot. The defense is always going to give great effort, but it's more of your psyche that goes into the next shot that will limit you on whether you make the shot or not.
Here comes the screen. And he's fouled. He's going to the line for two.
Aggressive play there, but you can't fault the defender for being up in the shooter. You need to contest shots, each and every one of them.
And hits the first free throw. And he makes them both. Beverly into the front court. The lead stands at 9.
Watch the cutter, man.
To George. Phoenix has the ball.
I got ball. I got him.
Here comes the screen. How you practice leads to that. Nice pump fake.
There you go, finally. Shoot your shot.
To Paul George. Old school. Backs his man down for the basket.
I get tired of hearing guys say, I was there, I contested a shot. I pretty much had a hand in his face. Well, no, you have to change up the game. If a guy is right-handed, he is right eye dominant. Get that hand over his right eye, block his vision. That'll enhance his chances of missing the shot.
Here comes the screen. The pass taken away by the Clippers. Paul George to Cousins. Converts in the paint. Nice finish at the rim.
Clearly not afraid of the spotlight here because that was not an easy look.
Match up. I got ball. That's me.
Etuan Moore against Paul George. From the painted area, won't go down. Third quarter comes to an end. The fourth quarter on the way. It's been all Clippers so far. It'll be Suns basketball as we begin the fourth quarter. The third quarter was a disaster. Remember, they led at halftime, and now they find themselves down big.
And when things get bad, they get bad in a hurry. But you have to remember, this is a game of runs. They had theirs, now it's time for yours.
My ball.
George lets it fly. He buries it off the step back. Suns with the basketball. Crowder defended by Cousins. That's what you like to see off the pick and roll. Nice, easy basket.
It's easy to become mesmerized when you watch a player who can create off the dribble. We call that dancing. When you allow a player to dance with that much space, that's Prob City.
George to Luke Kennard. The board to Kaminsky. Knocked loose. Clippers have it.
Don't play scared now. Let's push the ball. Let's get this lead up.
Paul George to Luke Kennard. Cousins to Luke Kennard. The Clippers with 4 to shoot. Down low, Boogie. Going to launch beyond the arc. What can you say? Morris locked in on that one.
It's easy to get lost in the chaos of the game down the stretch, but great awareness by the shooter to get those toes right behind the three-point line.
Bad pass there. Clippers have it.
Tonight, it may not cost you, but in a playoff game, it will.
George to Luke Kennard. Nothing going here on that drive. To the rim. Lays it up and in.
You know, it reminds me out of a story a legendary coach once told me. He said, if you ever get in a fight, you're not going to hit somebody with an open hand, correct? You'll probably break a finger. But if you hit somebody with the fist, what is that? That's 5 fingers working collectively together as one. That's how you deliver a knockout punch, and that's what we're seeing tonight.
Shot clock coming down to 4. Down to 3. Has a look. Shot for more, no good.
That's how you do it. You keep riding him to the basket, and if the refs aren't calling it, keep being physical. Keep knocking him off balance.
Drive from the baseline, but it won't go down. Another follow, still no good. Hat-trick Beverly. Tough shooting. Only 2 for 6 after that make.
Well, the shooting has been spectacular, but one of the things that I've seen as the difference maker in this ball game is how they are catching the basketball. They're not establishing a pivot foot, which leaves the defense wondering which way you can drive, but when that shot is working like that, you got it any way you want it.
Screen coming. Here's a chance from long range. Can't connect. It's no good. Beverly into the front court. His guys holding the big lead. Paul George. Frank Kaminsky. Huge block.
Ed, that's light work for a guy with his ability.
Screen coming. Oh, leaves the defender in the dust. Got it.
Ooh, I'm telling you from experience, his teammates will never let that one down.
Now the Clippers call a timeout as they'll talk things over here in this fourth quarter. Both coaches hitting the reset button. Fresh legs coming onto the floor. George to Cousins. Frank Kaminsky. Oh, that's out.
Out of here. It always looks cool, but guess what? You're still on D.
Beverly. To George. Mikal Bridges. Whistle blows. Oh, his back goes to the basket. 5-second count. It's going the other way. Jackson to Paul George. Has a chance. Deep two there. Won't go. It's Phoenix ball. To Mikal Bridges. Kaminsky against Paul George. Fires the three. Missed it. And he's fouled. Very close. Free throws coming up.
Sometimes when you get up big, you get a little careless. But attention to detail through the end, that's how you avoid unnecessary fouls.
Nope. First one does not go. Second one's good. Splits the pair. Here comes the screen. Missed it. They weren't going to give that to him. The pass taken away by the Clippers. Taking advantage of the turnover.
Bodies bouncing all around on that layup with the offense winning that battle. But if the defense keeps up that kind of pressure, good things are bound to happen.
Mikal Bridges. The Suns with 4 to shoot. Trying to cash in. Can't connect. Has to know what's a good shot and what isn't. Jackson with it. His guys hold a commanding lead. Paul George to Cousins. And a 5-second back-to-the-basket violation is called. We have both squads set to make some moves right now. Booker. Bad pass there. Clippers have it. Batum to Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson. With that, he's 5 for 9.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created. I think we just watched an epidemic of passing. I've never seen something like this before. It was so contagious, everybody started to do it, and it ultimately led to the other team's demise.
If that's an epidemic, sign me up. Clippers have the basketball. Reggie Jackson rocks the rim. Jay, that's been the story this evening.
I mean, another one? Another dunk? Another easy possession? I mean, how demoralizing can this be for the team? Why am I the only one yelling? I don't see anybody on the bench yelling. I don't see anybody on the court even angry right now.
And Jackson able to grab the rebound. Goes to the left side. George. Booker with it. Down a bundle. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
That's what I'm talking about, Ed. It's that simple. Put the ball in the bucket.
To Jackson. Batum. Nothing going here on that drive. Has a look. Gets a look. Can't hit.
It's easy. Force guys into low percentage shots. That's the reason why we're big into stats. It was all provided to you before the game in the scouting report.
Paul George to Cousins. Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
And I love the smile on the face of the offensive player. Sometimes luck is on your side. I don't know how that shot went in, but and one.
DeMarcus Cousins at the line for a chance at a three-point play. For his career, 73%. Free throw try, off the mark. To Booker. Mikal Bridges to Booker. Cousins has the rebound. Backcourt violation is called. Substitution being made in this one. To Mikal Bridges. Shot clock, it's coming down to 4. Now down to 3. Beyond the arc for 3. Mikal Bridges forced that one. Well defended.
And big-time coaching strategy by the staff right there, utilizing their bench, keeping fresh legs on that shooter consistently throughout the course of the game.
It's Suns ball. Booker. Knocks it down off the step back.
Ooh, is there a medic in the house? You need to get those ankles retaped ASAP.
George. Oh, the Suns come up with the steal. Booker to Mikal Bridges. Here comes the screen. Booker. Down low, Crowder. Gets it in the right corner. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. That's off the side of the rim. Short. DeMarcus Cousins. Tips it.
That's why a rim protector is a necessity in this game.
To George. To Cousins. piece of it.
Jumping out the gym right now, Ed.
Great anticipation. To Booker. For three, that's off the side of the rim, no good. Has a chance. Shot by Zubats, off the mark. To Booker. Screen coming. Booker against Cousins. Nice pass to set things up.
It just seems like nobody can stop him but him. Once he's found his offensive swag, that boy's deadly.
Jackson with it. He'll run the offense. To Cousins. Nikola Batum. With that shot, he's 5 for 8.
There's something that is so impressive about what we saw this evening. Not just his shot-making ability, but the fact that not every shot came from the pocket. There were some bad passes being made, and the shots came from different places around the body, which aren't usual for the typical shot. That shot-making ability, that's something special to watch.
DeAndre Ayton to Mikal Bridges. Shot won't go.
The most important thing a shooter can do is continue to shoot. The defense is always going to give great effort, but it's more of your psyche that goes into the next shot that will limit you on whether you make the shot or not.
Curling inside. That's no good. It's the Clippers who come away with the victory as they win this one handily. That'll wrap things up. For Jay Williams and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
Here we go with the EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Clippers came away with the victory in this one. And the defensive intensity made all of the difference. They were committed to staying aggressive, forcing turnovers, and being disruptive on their way to victory. Here are the guys who put up the most points for the Los Angeles Clippers. The Suns put up a fight, but didn't get their hands raised at the end. And even though some of them smiled and shook hands with the other guys after the game, you could tell by the way they headed to the tunnels how disappointed they were about this loss. Check out the leading scores for the Phoenix Suns.
Game track. 3-point shooting.
The Los Angeles Clippers did their best work away from the basket. They used a combination of perimeter defense and long-range scoring to get themselves the win.
Player of the game.
DeMarcus Cousins seemed to think he could only score points with dunks in this game. Again and again, he kept throwing them down, and it was just astonishing.
Who was cold?
What can you say about a guy like this, except that he fits the title of this segment? He was definitely cold in this game. Here's our top plays of the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
That does it for us. On behalf of the rest of the crew, good night.